I think it was sometime last year around March that I had already set up the meet and getting this chat ready just before the season could start of ISL. But due to certain issues, I think I had fallen sick and I could not continue or keep up to the date. And then it didn't happen after that. But since then, from March onwards, after I got recovered and everything, I was like still chasing this gentleman to come onto the show, but he was a busy man. And now we all know how the entire season kept him busy. And today, when we speak, he has the ISL trophy back in his trophy cabinet. And it's my pleasure to welcome Sujay Sharma to the Totally Indian Football Show. Thank you so much for taking out, Sujay, and welcome.
Thank you for having me, Siju. Yeah, I don't know if it was because I was busy or what cropped up. Yeah, unfortunately, we weren't able to do this before, but yeah, it's better late than never, and very happy to be here.
Yeah, I think this is the perfect occasion. Like I said, you now have the ISL trophy in the cabinet. 3 years of existence for Hyderabad FC, and you guys have been consistent since day one. A lot has gone down, from the start of shifting to a new place. And though you guys are familiar with Indian football with ISL, nonetheless, it was a challenge for you guys to start something in Hyderabad, and you guys took on the challenge head on. Can you take us back to the first day when you were asked to join the Hyderabad FC project, and what was the vision? What sold off the idea to you that you want to take this role up at Hyderabad FC?
Yeah, so it was back in December 2019 that Mr. Varun Tripuraneni, the co-owner of the newly formed Hyderabad FC team, contacted me and got in touch, and we sat down for a meeting and we discussed, what all opportunities could be there. And he's always been a very passionate man and passionate about his football, and he had a vision for Hyderabad FC and Hyderabad football, how to take it forward. There was a lot of potential. There was a lot of talented young players, and obviously the potential of the city to grow and regain its glory as a past Indian football hub, and all the success which Hyderabad had in the past, but there was still potential to recreate it and try and get some success, get all the youngsters and the youth and the young population of Hyderabad involved with the new infrastructure and all these things. And obviously, as a new ISL venue. So there was a lot of potential. There were a lot of talented players who were on the books at the club. Obviously, the club at that moment, because everything had been so last minute in terms of the transition from the previous franchise to Hyderabad. So they didn't really have that much time to prepare and set things in place properly. But at the same time, they knew where they wanted to go. They wanted to build the club in a long, sustainable way, and achieve success in the medium to long term. So yeah, and given the potential which was there to to help things, to improve things, obviously it was something which was attractive and a positive challenge. And I wanted I was and Mr. Varun offered me something long term, a 3-year project initially to start with. And I thought, yeah, that made sense. That was a good timeline to work and to try and improve things, and to build on the potential which was there. And so those conversations was positive. We laid down some plans on what we wanted to do, how we wanted to start going about things, and we slowly but surely started to do that right from December 2019. And thankfully, and slowly but surely, it has borne fruit over the months and years.
Yeah, absolutely. Because since day one, I think, yeah, like I said, maybe the first season was not up to the mark, or the way you all wanted it to start, but you all kept at it. I think something that every other club or all the fans that were impressed with you all was the continuity and consistency that you all showed from there on. Though there were expectations, but we also thought that okay, it's another new club. Can they do it? Will they do it? But I think the team, as you mentioned, you're getting the youngsters onto the pitch, and all of that really excited all of us to look forward to this project. And then you guys roped in Albert Roca. somebody who's known how Indian football things work, somebody who's found probably success with Bengaluru FC, and it was going to be a different look for him also, and for all for the fans as well to see him in a different team. But things didn't go as planned. He got a call from another club, Barcelona, and he had to leave. How was that situation for you guys? Because it's not a very happy situation to be in, right? Like just maybe just a few months to go for the season, and you've roped in this coach with all the expectation, and now suddenly you have to let go of him. But it's also a heist that you have to now look for another coach. So how did you guys narrow it down to Manolo, and what were you thinking of? How could you replace an Albert Roca?
Yeah, like you said, so we had started planning in December 2019 itself, and then due to the changes in the coaches and the players, so we identified Albert Roca pretty early on in 2020, and he was brought on board as early as January to consult with us till the end of the season, and then to help plan with us for the season ahead. Uh, to, I mean, yes, he did leave for Barcelona a few months before the start of the season, but I think we also did well that for the period we were in consultation with Albert, and right from January 2020 till the time he left, I think we had a very good working relationship. We all worked very hard, including him and us, on identifying the players for our style of play, both Indians and foreigners, and working hard to get them. So a lot of the foundations were put in place because of all the hard work which was done by everybody at the club, including Albert Roca, till the time he left. So I think yes, it was difficult for us. It was difficult for us with have him having to part ways such a short time before the start of the league. But the fact that we were already pretty sure in the style of football we wanted to play, the players we wanted to promote. We already had almost 50% of our foreigners in place with all the research and background checks and everything which had gone on in for signing them. Even when Albert was with us, and we had not majority, we probably had the entire Indian squad in place also. So I think we were pretty in a stable position. The foundations were set, but yeah, we obviously needed the right person to then help take it forward in a good way, because it was still going to be a lot of uncertainties as to how things would unravel. And then yes, then once it was sure that obviously Albert was going to join his hometown club, we when some profiles came our way, we wanted a little sort of continuity in the style of play and what we wanted to achieve. We wanted to play good football. We wanted to attract crowds and youngsters to our style of play, so that Hyderabad FC people relate to and people like watching and following, to help with the fans and all these sort of things. So I think we sort of knew that what type of coach we would like to have. And when the profiles came our way, and when we had our talks with Manolo Marquez, was obviously one who stood out, given his his background and his reputation in Spain, and having worked with young players, and at a very good academy and young players team like Las Palmas B, which produces a lot of talented players, and Espanyol B, which produces a lot of talented players too. And having worked both with young players in the B teams of these good Spanish teams, and also worked in the Spanish top second division, and Spanish La Liga also. So we knew that we were getting somebody who could manage things well with the squad we had, with both the mix of young players and experienced foreign players, and who knew the market well too, with his detailed study and detailed knowledge of Spanish and European football. So he helped us, get in some of our remaining foreigners also, who did tremendously well in the coming year. So I think, yeah, I mean, a lot of work was done. Credit for the hard work to everybody who worked on the scenes even before Albert left. But yeah, we were happy that we got Manolo's profile, and he gelled in with us in terms of philosophy, and the way we wanted to go about things. And he was happy with the squad which was presented to him, and he was happy to get the best out of them, and was able to get the best out of them. And I think his expertise with young players, and getting the best out of young players, also helped even more. So in a way, what happened was good, in hindsight. Very good.
Yeah, because you are one of the teams. I think the only team in ISL that probably people don't hate or dislike. It's like a neutral fans team is considered to be Hyderabad FC. Like it'll be the second favorite team after their favorite clubs that is in ISL because of the things that you guys work, the youngsters that you have in the team that have impressed really since day one, and also I think there's something about Manolo as well. One, he knows the system, but also the fact that how approachable and how friendly he is in his approach, right? In his talking, in his demeanor. He's a likable coach. So when you guys, I think when you all led him and he was given the responsibility, it was a head to head and neck to neck competition this previous season. And I think it was by a whiskers that you all missed out on the top four, if I'm not wrong. How is that like? And from there to, we often see in ISL, the coaches are changed like, I mean, it's no man's business, if you don't get the desired result. And also, it happens because of the short nature of the league that you need quick results. Otherwise, you are going to look for somebody else who can bring you that. But you guys trusted this man and kept him on and gave him one more year, gave him one more extension. So, how was the mood in the camp when you all just missed out in the last season? Not this one, the previous one for the
Yeah,
playoffs.
yeah. So see, once Manolo came and the way he started working, and like you said, he's a very humble, very likable man and coach, and that is absolutely correct. He's very honest. He's very transparent. He's very upfront. And all these things are good. Players appreciate it. We as management appreciate it. Fans appreciate it. I'm sure the media, everybody appreciates it. So that's that. We knew we had a good person and a good coach with us, and the fact that we started the season all right, and we were doing well, and we could see that even though we were having lots of foreigners injured, our Indians were stepping up, and we were playing well, and we were and others were sitting up and taking notice. So we knew we were in a good way, and we realized that our target was to be there or thereabouts for the in contention for the playoffs, and we were confident that the way the season was going, that we would be there or thereabouts. And we realized that with young players, it's often it takes time with young players and a new team. You need, maybe you do better in the second season when you have a little more continuity. And we realized that with Manolo, we had a good thing going with the players and the squad. We had a good thing going, and whether we would make it to the playoffs or we would not make it to the playoffs, we wanted to consolidate on our future and plan for the future. So I think it was in February 2021 itself when we agreed to a 2-year extension with Manolo. And we were happy to offer him that 2-year extension, and he obviously himself was also very happy to have signed. So that locked him in for us till 2023, end of 2023. That is end of even this coming season. So I think that was a tremendous show of confidence in each other, us in Manolo and Manolo in the club and the project and the players who were there. So I think that gave extra confidence to everybody to just continue and build on it and do their best for the season ahead. That no matter whether we would make it to the playoffs or we would not, we would miss out fighting, but we were in it for the long haul and the long term. So that was at that moment, and yes, we did try our best to make it. We went on a 12-match unbeaten streak, but unfortunately there were a lot of draws in those 12 matches. And yeah, it was very unfortunate. The last match against FC Goa in the league stage in that season, we attacked as much as we could. It was a must-win game, and we had a couple of close chances also, wherein if the ball would have gone in the net, we would have been in the playoffs. But I guess it was not to be, and yeah, it was very disappointing and heartbreaking at that moment, and we were quite down and low for for a few weeks, I guess. But yeah, we knew that we just needed to now regroup and build on it, which I believe we did, and yeah, thankfully it worked out for the best this next season.
Yeah, and what a season you guys have had. I mean, now coming to the current season, right? I mean, the season that just went by where y'all have, y'all won the ISL trophy. Now, how is, how are the preparations like just before the season could start? Before, even the season could kickstart and you all regrouped once again, right before this edition. How are the preparations like?
No, I think the preparations were good. We planned things in a good way. We took into account the calendar, and there would be, players missing for parts of the calendar due to senior national team commitments, under 23 national team commitments. So we had to take all of that into account. Then there was obviously it was going to be a repeat. It was going to be a bubble again, but there was some flexibility as to when the bubble could get activated. So we had to optimize such sort of things. When do we assemble? Where do we assemble? When do we activate the bubble? How do we manage the load and the preparation? Last year, of course, all the teams went into the bubble at the same time, and then we just played friendlies against other ISL teams who were also in the bubble. But this time, before entering the bubble, we were able to arrange some friendlies against some other I League teams also. So yeah, we had a reasonably good planning for the going into the season. We assembled in Hyderabad, which was also good. At least we got some sort of acquaintance with the city for a lot of the players who had not been in Hyderabad the previous season, which had been in the bubble entirely. So I think, yeah, we planned and we set up things well, and then once the bubble was on, and then things got into their rhythm, and yeah, and then we, of course, we started, although we played very well, we started with a loss against Chennai, but in the end, the match after that against Mumbai City, we had a very good win from come from behind, 3-1, and I think that set us up on the way to have a good performances and seasons ahead. Yeah.
Now, as a director of football, how happy and proud are you with, especially the Indian contingent that you guys have had? Because, if I can list a few names, and the list is never with just few names, because the players like Sahil Tavora, players like Akash Mishra, Ashish Rai, Chingleson Sana, Nazari, Nikhil Pujari, Rohit, Danu, Yasir. I mean, you can go on, Aniket Jadhav, and you'll be like, did I miss out on someone? And each of them, irrespective of the duration and the time they've spent on the pitch for this team in this season that went by, everyone had a role to play, right? They were so key to the team, whether they've come on from the bench or they're starting from the playing 11. So when you look back, how happy are you with this contingent?
No, no, definitely. You hit the nail on the head that everyone in the team contributed, and everybody was key and important to the result happening. I think it was something which Manolo and the foreigners were very surprised and always stressed. That it was the strength of our group, our unity, our togetherness and character, which even last year helped us to do so well in adversity when we had so many of our foreigners injured, and we just continued and built on from that even this year. Despite the difficult circumstances, it was again our unity and this strength of the group and the character and everybody helping each other and contributing. Everybody, most people would say that we've had the best group of people in a team when they've been with. So yeah, on the field, off the field, everybody just helps each other so much in our team, and that's really proud and really happy to see. That we have such good characters. Sometimes yeah, Manolo says maybe they are too good for their own good, if you know what I mean. In terms of football, sometimes you need to be a little, the other way also. But still, I'm happy that we have great characters, good characters who all work so hard for each other and help each other all the time. And it is thanks to each and every one of them, no matter whether they played a few matches or a lot of matches or every match. They all contributed, right from the goalkeepers, the second goalkeeper, to all the defenders. I mean, even yeah, you can take a name. I can take the name of every player and tell you how every player contributed in a key important way. Whether they played many minutes or less minutes, but whenever they played, they were key for us to help get the results, because it was a difficult season, and we needed each and every one of them.
Yeah, now when I spoke about the coach Manolo leading the entire team, you also had, and he's known for working among the youth, and we saw how that actually translated onto the pitch while he spent time with the club. But another man that you have in the coaching staff who's also known to work with the youth and young players is Thangboy Singto, the Indian assistant coach that you guys have. So take us through how he does things and how he engages with his players, because even he's another coach who's likable. So you have two of these guys, gentlemen, who know the sport really well, who know how to work with young players or even senior players for that matter. And how is the dressing room like, with these two gentlemen around?
No, yeah, Thangboy coach has his own, USPs. He is he's calm and composed, and he knows he's been in a lot of situations in Indian football. He knows Indian football quite well. He knows what to say when, how to delegate. So yeah, that's something which definitely helps. And not only Thangboy, we had a good coaching staff overall with Benito, our assistant coach, who's also a very calming influence, who works very hard, who's technically very good. Our fitness coach, who was key, in making sure that everybody was super fit, and we had very less injuries despite the tough and hectic schedule. Our analyst, who's fantastic at his job, whom Manolo is of all full of praise. I mean, Manolo having worked with various analysts and technical staff even in Europe, and our analyst, I believe, is up there with any analyst in Europe too. And our goalkeeping coach, who got the best out of our goalkeepers, who so and you saw how good they performed compared to many goalkeepers in the league. So I think it was every each and every staff, like I said, it was important. Each and every player contributed. I think each and every staff contributed in their own key important way. And not to forget the medical team, with their experience and handling the players in the tough situations with the bubble, and with the COVID and all these things. So yeah, hats off to everybody, all staff, right from Manolo to the kit man, everybody.
Now, talking about the foreign contingent among the players, right? You had the best lot of Indian contingent. We've seen them in the past. Some addition that you added was the tried and tested, the known figures in ISL who also know how the nature of the bio bubble. Now, you guys had most of it except one who was a new player into your team. But I think the most I personally was looking forward, and I'm sure majority were looking forward to two names. One was, of course, Bartholomew Ogbeche, because wherever he goes, people eyeballs follow him, right? And the other guy was Juanan, who just who's spent couple of years with BFC and now heading to a new team. So to see that transition, how do you see both of these guys, and Bart being the goal scorer, and getting those goals, and while Juanan is at the back who takes care, leader from the back, and you have a leader from the front, right? How did you guys manage to get rope them into this project of Hyderabad FC, and how impressed are you with them?
No, no, definitely. Both were very key and very important in our success. Obviously, at the end, in football, to win matches, you need goals. And Bart, in Bart, we knew that when we were looking for a striker, which striker we could get, who could help us get the goals. I mean, Bart was somebody we identified quite early on. It was always going to be a challenge to get him, but we made that extra effort to try to make sure we got him. And at the same time, he also seemed interested and keen to come, knowing how we had played the previous season. He had been observing us, him at Mumbai City, we at Hyderabad. We had a relatively good season, and he had a good conversation with me, with Manolo in particular. He was so they were able to share ideas, and Manolo was able to explain to him on his thoughts on what he would want, and what he would expect Bart to bring, and what Bart could bring. And I think Bart was eager and keen with that too. So I think it was good for both, and both parties made the effort to come to join hands. And yeah, we are very happy that Bart made that decision, and I'm sure Bart is also very happy because he had his most prolific season in Indian football. And yeah, and his goals helped propel us uh, towards the top end of the league for the large parts of the season, and also helping us in winning the ISL trophy. And obviously, with his experience, that was also another big thing, where the other youngsters could always learn a lot from him on how to take care of yourself, and how to be professional in all ways. And coming to Juanan, obviously, we when we got the opportunity, that I mean, we were looking at defenders. Manolo was feeling that, given it would be a bubble season again, it would help a little more if we had players who might understand the difficulty which would be entailed. And Juanan, having known Indian football and known Indian players, and always been a great character, everybody knew that he was a good, committed player, always gave his 100%, performed brilliantly as an individual, and helped with the team at all moments. So we knew what we were getting with Juanan, and he did what all was expected of him. And with him and Sana, we had a good defensive partnership. We did well as a defensive unit, with Akash and Ashish and the other defenders name whoever played. So yeah, Juanan, with his experience, he had 4+ years of experience at Bengaluru FC. So there was never any doubt about his quality and what he would bring to the table. So yeah, we were very happy and fortunate to have these two important players, and they did very well. They lived up to expectations, thankfully.
Yeah, now we've come to a conclusion of the league stage even on the show, and now we come to the playoffs. Now, you guys were playing ATKMB in the playoffs. Now, they had a slip up in between. The season was not going too good for them. There a change in coach, but ATKMB being ATKMB, they have the firepower to score and get back and crawl back into the points top four. And here they are in the playoffs. What was the mood like when you got to know you all are playing against ATKMB, and how did you all approach? Because you all went, what we saw then was, I mean, it was all out and all firepower right there. It looked really easy for you guys. But as the preparations were going on for the playoffs, facing an ATKMB team who is known to win trophies, how did you guys go for approaching this game?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say we just went all firepower. I think that way, credit to Manolo and his staff. They prepare in a very systematic, organized way for every match and opponent we face. And okay, we did not, it was not like we would prefer to play TKMB, or we would prefer to play Jamshedpur, or we would prefer to play Kerala in the semi-finals. We were okay with whoever we would get, and we would plan and prepare accordingly. And that's what we did. I think, yeah, we obviously knew ATKMB was going to be a very tough game, given the offensive strength and the quality and depth of their squad. And we just had to prepare and play to the best possible. The first half, I guess, in the first leg, maybe was not the best for certain periods where they took the lead, but again, tremendous character and fight back, and presence of mind for us to get that goal just right at the end of the first half, which put us back in the game. And then we took our chances which came our way, with Yasir and with Javi from another corner. And I guess, once we had that lead, then we showed tremendous character and spirit to see it through, to see it out, and which is important. I mean, in knockout games, in playoff games, these things are also very important. And yeah, that was something which we had this year a lot of. We showed tremendous character and spirit whenever we required to come back from a goal down, or whenever we needed to dig in to maintain a lead. So yeah, that helped us and put us in good stead, and thankfully we were able to see it through and make it to the finals. But it was tremendously difficult. It was not easy at all. Obviously, it was always going to be difficult, but it was, yeah, it was quite nail biting.
Okay, now coming down to the finals, right? You guys were playing Kerala Blasters, and the other thing was that the bio bubble was now opened. Fans were allowed to come into the stadium, and it was a fitting finale because both of you guys deserve to be in the final, and KBFC were having one of the best seasons since their inception. So, how was it like? What did the coach probably tell the team? How do you guys approach this, knowing the fact that the KBFC Yellow Army is always there? They come in numbers, and here they were. yes, even your fans were backing you guys, seeing after 2 years, and a great time to witness, for the fans to witness you guys in action. So take us through what happened there, and I'm sure our listeners would love to hear that.
No, obviously, once it was made aware that the final was going to be open to fans, I think everybody was very excited and happy and delighted that that after 2 years of the pandemic, finally they would be able to play in front of fans, and they were eager and looking forward to it in a very positive way. Manolo and the players all made it clear to each other, that they need to go out and enjoy the occasion, and the fact that they are in a final, it's a moment to be enjoyed and put your best foot forward. And obviously, yeah, in terms of preparation, we prepared in the best way possible for all eventualities, and we knew that Kerala Blasters were also a very good team, and they had a very good season, and they would pose a tough challenge. But yeah, we prepared in our way, and we were focused and had belief in our strengths. And at the same time, yes, we knew that even though, because there would be fans at the stadium, majority might be KBFC fans, but we knew that we would have a decent amount of support from our fans who were coming all the way from Hyderabad, and to play in front of them for the first time for many of the players. So so that was how we went in to that, and I think Manolo made it clear to the players, like I said, to enjoy the occasion, to not get overawed by it, to be relaxed, to play the best game possible. Maybe it was not able to be implemented as much in the first half, maybe we were a little bit cagey, but yeah, when he reiterated it to the team at the halftime break, I think they responded very well and very positively, and I believe after that. We dominated a large parts of the second half and extra time, and which all definitely, okay, even though we conceded that first goal, but I think Manolo and the team always had belief that given how well we were playing, that we would equalize, or we could equalize at any moment, and which we did, thankfully. And we continued to dominate into the extra time also, which gave us a lot of confidence, I think. So so yeah, it was definitely a good tough game, a nail biting game, like you said, but playing in front of the fans and playing well, especially after the halftime, I think it was the confidence just grew from there. And yeah, and the great team spirit which we had, and belief which we had, saw us through.
Right, and I mean, it would be rude and unfair if I wouldn't ask you this final question about this one particular player, because he was the hero, he was a star for you guys in the final game, Lakshmikant Kattimani. And though everybody was like, okay, that's a Kattimani moment yet again when he let go of that goal in the first half. But what a way and what a redemption for him to come back and stand like a wall, save all the penalties, and help you guys lift the trophy. So he's come a long way, because we've seen him since many years now, and it's a tag that he's got, right? And I'm sure now it's like he's buried those tags now, and I'm sure we all are going to, like, take him when he comes to keep. It'll be a different way that everyone looks at him. So tell us about something more. What happened after that? What did you speak to him? What was his emotions like after or before? If there's anything that you want to share.
No, definitely we knew we know what Kattimani brings to the table, and we were confident that I'm sure the Manolo always has and has had a lot of faith and confidence in Kattimani since last year and this year, and even the goalkeeper coach, Mark Gamon, has had the same, and has helped get the best out of him, which Kattimani showed with a lot of consistent performances. Almost all of the time throughout the season itself. And yeah, we knew that with his experience going into the penalty shootout, he would he would be able to put away what happened for the first goal, and he would be able to focus, given the team had done so well to get the game back on 1-1, and be doing well. So we had confidence that Katti, with his experience and with the preparation which the goalkeeping coach and him would have done, that he would do well in the shootout. And given we also had we had good penalty takers remaining still on the pitch, we felt. So yeah, I think we were always reasonably confident, and that just I think that helps when the confidence keeps on helping other people become confident. So I think yeah, and Katti, he showed his quality, he showed his maturity in those penalty situations, and It was good that he was able to make those saves and help us win the trophy in the shootout.
Well, to ask for me to ask you a question, what lies ahead? I think we still have a long way to ask you that question, and I think since this episode is going to come out in between, in the middle of once the ISL Development League is going on, so I wouldn't dwell much into that conversation because it's going to start. It'll be already started when the episode goes out. So well, thank you so much, Sujoy. You are known to be a media shy person, and I think that was probably more struggle to get you on the show. But finally, you did, and what a way to come and speak and share all the anecdotes, the entire season, how it went by. Wish you nothing but the best for the rest of whatever is coming ahead. Thank you so much for taking time. Yes, like we say, the season had its own share of hiccups. Even this episode had its own share of hiccups, and I apologize for that. But thank you so much for your patience and for your time, Sujoy.
No worries. Thank you. The pleasure was mine, and thanks for having me here once again. And yes, it was great, and hopefully we can just continue and build on from this and keep up the good work. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning into the Totally Indian Football Show. You just heard the Director of Football of Hyderabad FC, the champions of ISL, Mr. Sujay Sharma. Thank you for tuning into the episode. If you did like, please do share and subscribe to our show. Thank you so much for all the love and appreciation you've been garnering us. But continue, and we want that support to go on for a long time because we have some exciting episodes coming your way. Thank you once again, and I'm your host, Siju. You were listening to the Totally Indian Football Show. Thank you.